I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order. May I have a motion? Make a motion. Open the regular meeting. Second by Garrett. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Would you please rise for the pledge of allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. Please give a prayer. George Orega, who is a 30-year food service employee for the district. Michael, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have a motion to approve the board agenda, please.
I'll move it.
Moved by Kara Rapp. Second?
Second.
Second by Jason. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First is our public hearing for the budget. Mr. Dent?
Thank you. So we are without internet service, so my apologies that the presentation will not be up on the screen, but I will get through this. So the budget is the same amount that I presented at the last meeting, which was $96,493,575. One of the factors that we were waiting on was state aid. There basically was only an increase of $32,296 in state aid, which that amount will decrease the amount that we are allocating in fund balance. It was a little disappointing. The governor pretty much only corrected any of those schools that had negatives and brought them to hold harmless. So pretty much everybody was brought back to what they were last year. Our overall state federal increase was less than 1% from last year. We're okay. We have the fund balance allocated. We most likely won't even touch it. It's just there as a formula to plug in to balance our budget. So the important thing is that you need to know is that this is the 4th year in a row that we were presenting a 0% tax levy to the community. And Mr. Green, you had tasked us with doing a little bit of research. And I looked into every school in New York State, and there's approximately just less than 700 schools in the state. And turns out, I was shocked, there were 34 schools that had zeros for 3 years. But the data out for this 4th year is not out yet, so we don't know if we're going to be able to match that with them. The only school in the county was Newburgh that had the 3 years of zeros, but they are not having a zero this year. So we can honestly say that we are the only school in Orange County with 4 zeros in our own. So, but when that data comes out, maybe I'll update the presentation to you and see if there are anybody that went for a 4th year. So it sounds like a daunting task. It was just a matter of comparing some spreadsheets and the numbers jumped out. So 4th year in a row with a 0% tax increase. I've highlighted some of the things that increased this budget because the budget did increase a little over $4 million. 3.5 of that is an increase in state aid because we went out and borrowed money, $18 million for the project. That increased our debt because we have to pay back the principal and interest. But what happened is the equal amount of that has come through in revenue. So therefore, both of those numbers go up equally on the expense side and the revenue side, hence the zero tax increase. Our goal is to maintain current projects, programs. We have contract obligations we have to meet, and we just settled on 2 large contracts. We have another one coming up next year. The cost of inflation makes all materials and supplies increase. Of course, fuel, electric, and natural gas increase. We had an increase in transportation costs, which will happen every year. This year, we had an increase in special education. We've taken on some students that have higher needs. Also in this budget is putting in door swipes here at the 209 complex. This will conclude because the last year's budget, the one we're currently in, we have door swipes in the budget for HB, the new ASK, and then next year we will do the 209 complex, so the entire district will be keyless and we'll be using swipes. The work in this next year's budget will be roof work at Pike Street. BOCES has a large capital project, and each school in the county has to contribute towards that, and we are paying our share. And of course, there's an increase in health insurance and ERS and TRS, which is the retirement system. So this is about the time where I show how we started out. The budget is a rollover, 94 plus million, which is evolved to 96, close to 96.5 million, which is what was approved at last meeting and was being presented this evening. The other items that will be on the ballot, not only the budget, will be the school board elections, and Dr. Bell will actually discuss some of the other propositions that are on the bill.
Okay, thank you. Last year we had the budget, school board elections, and 4 additional referendums. This year we cut it down, we only have 3 additional referendums, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. But first, we have 5 seats for the school board open. Because we're a 9-member board and they're 3-year terms, there's always 3 people up every year. There's always a cycle, 3, 3, and 3. But because Annie Foster had stepped down and Mike Hockenberry had stepped down, they each have 1 year left. So there are 6 people running for the board. 5 of them will be elected. The top 3 vote getters will get 3-year terms, and then the people who take 4th and 5th will get 1-year terms. And the person who takes 6th will get their Tuesday nights off. Is the way it works. And the 6 people that are running, 3 people here on the board currently, Jason, Mark, and Michael are all running. And then the other 3 people running are Kathy Sadagiani, who was a longtime board member, who's looking to come back, Lynn Hendershot, who's a retired employee of the district, and another parent, Joe Andriak. So Kathy, Joe, Lynn, Michael, Mark, and Jason. So 6 people for 5 spots. Moving on to the 3 referendum. The first one is the sale of Thompson Street. We've listed it with a realtor. We've shown it to quite a few people. And we have a contract to sell Thompson Street for $250,000, but it's contingent upon public approval. Just like last year, we had to get public approval to buy a building, the building on Pike Street. When you sell a building, you have to get public approval as well. So that'll be on. So the question will be, would you like to have $250,000 put in our savings account? Yes or no? Will be that one. Another item is a capital reserve account. About 11 years ago, the voters voted to create a capital reserve account so that money can be put into the account to pay for future projects. And as you know, we've been doing a lot of projects. In those accounts, the way it was set up, it only lasts for 10 years. So you have to use all the money up in 10 years. We're at our 10th year right now. There's 1.4 million in it still. We're going to use that to apply it towards phase 4, which I'm going to talk to you next. So the referendum to the public is, will you allow the board to create a capital reserve account, and then the board can take money from fund balance, put it into the capital reserve account to use for future projects. And that's something we did 10 years ago. We're asking to do it again, but it's 10 times more important this time than it was 10 years ago, because the governor said a few months ago, if you have a lot of fund balance, we're going to cut your state aid in the future. So it's very important that we move money from fund balance, which is your savings account, into the capital reserve account. It's almost like your Christmas club. You know, in the old days, remember my mom had a Christmas club down at the Bank of New York, and money would go there so my dad didn't spend it. You know, and that's what a capital reserve account is like. It's taking money out of your regular savings and putting it in a specific account for a specific purpose. So we need to move money, we need to create the account and move money so that we don't get penalized by having to cut in state aid from the governor in the future. And then finally, the last thing, in addition to the sale of Thompson Street and the capital reserve account, is the phase 4 capital project. We're in the middle of phases 1, and you'll see the fields getting all ripped up outside. That's part of phase 2, and phase 3 is going to start any day now. Phase 4 is $26.5 million, and it is roughly $20 million in state aid and $6 million of our dollars invested in it. And it comes from 1.4 for the capital reserve account that we would close out, the old capital reserve account, and then about 4.6 in fund balance. So $6 million from us, $20 million from the state to pay for the $26 million. What's included in that is a new roof, new boilers, an entirely new HVAC system, all up at HBE at the Bicentennial Elementary. And then down here at the main campus, it's some of the most needy sections of the roof here on this building, as well as lighting in the auditorium and some replacement windows in the high school gym that are original 1960, what they call Cowell windows. They're like gray, frosted, rectangular windows that let light in on both sides of the gym. They're original 1960 windows and they're in bad shape. They need to be replaced. So it's $26.5 million. Again, $20 million from the state, $6 from our different savings accounts. I think that is everything. So at this time, we'll entertain questions from the board, and then we'll entertain any questions from the public.
Anyone have any questions? Anybody from the public have any questions? Lynn?
What budget code are the swipes being pulled out of? Or being put into in the budget?
Budget code, well, currently it's in capital reserve.
Okay.
Budget, the budget capital reserve, not the capital reserve uses.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. May I have a motion to close the public hearing, please? Moved by Michael Witt. Second? Mark, please. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next are our presentations. Our first presentation is our senior representative, Jocelyn Decker.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jocelyn Decker, and I'm a senior here at Port Jervis High School. Before I begin, I would like to thank the board for the opportunity to serve tonight. I was not here last board meeting, but leaving off, we've had lots of field trips. The senior class had their field trip in Orlando, and then Port Jervis Honor Society had a field trip, had their induction, on May 1st. Juniors had their semi-formal. Last weekend, we hosted the SATs here at Port Jervis High School. Coming up on Thursday, May 9th, is the Port Jervis High School Spring Concert. On Thursday and Friday of May 9th and May 10th, science classes are going to Sam's Point field trip to learn more about fire ecology. On Friday, May 10th, ADAC ceremony will be in Middletown High School, and several winners will be honored. On Friday, May 10th, Ms. Mendola's class will be taking a field trip to Victory Hill Therapeutic Farm. On Tuesday, May 14th, the Seal of Biliteracy will present their showcase in the gym. On Wednesday, May 15th, the Senior College Commitment Day. Seniors will wear their spirit wear to colleges that they're going to be committed to next year. On Wednesday and Thursday of May 15th and 16th, science classes are going to Sam's Point field trip to learn about Sam's Point for geology. On Thursday, May 16th, the SAD Club will host the Powder Puff game for girls at Harriet Space Park. On Thursday, May 16th, will be the Guys and Dolls show in the Milford Theater. And on Tuesday, May 21st, will be Youth and Government Experience to Albany. This week, we would like to honor all of our teachers as it is Teacher Appreciation Week. And tomorrow, we would like to honor our school nurses to celebrate School Nurse Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn. Our next presentation is the HBE Special Olympics team.
Thank you so much for having us here tonight. Everybody's really excited. I'm sorry you can't see the presentation, but I'm going to go through my slides quickly. I have a lot of thank yous. This was a huge group effort. I'd like to thank Dr. Bell, Dr. Walkowitz, Mr. Tim, Mrs. Duryea, Mrs. Fitzgerald, Mr. Harris, Mrs. Harris, Mr. Gass, Mr. Straharsky. All of them played a little piece in everything we're going to talk about tonight, as well as thanking We Transport, who gave us a bus to transport some of our athletes and their families. And I also want to thank all of our parents and our families that are here tonight. This was the first year that HBE, the Port Jervis School District, participated in the Special Olympics. The Olympics has been in Orange County for 8 years, but this was the first year that we had a team. So I put out the, hey, we're gonna have a team, we've got these kids that are gonna go, I need some coaches. I had 14 staff members attend the first coaching session. So even though we didn't have enough kids for all 14, that's good for 2 years, so they're already signed up for next year. So thank you to all of the participants. We had groups of volunteers that came through the day. We had staff members stopping in throughout the day, cheering on the kids. It was a phenomenal experience. So that is my thank yous, but the reason that we're here, and I don't have my slides with the link, so I'm just gonna play it on my phone. The Port Jervis Special Ed Olympics team. So we have Dr. Bell up here to help us with some certificates for our athletes. So our first team is Miss Monahan and Miss DeGroat's team. So I'd like to call up Miss Monahan, Miss DeGroat, and we're going to start with Daryl Lewis. Out with Miss Monahan. Our next athlete is Eric Dubose. Our next team is Team Hartman and Team Nacelle. Bentley Harper's absent, but our next athlete is Lonnie Oliver. And Aaliyah Vanderveer. And our third team was Team Young and Team Skinnell. Miss Skinnell's here, and we are, we don't have Mason Massabot tonight, but we do have Alexander Halsey. We'd like to get a picture of the whole team together.
How about you too, Miss Mesnick? Once you get to go there. Dr. Bell, maybe jump in?
Come on, girl.
Can I get a go port first? Go! There you go. Nice. Congratulations, kid. Congratulations.
We're going to tell them about the Olympics now, okay? All right. So we had some great pictures to share with you, but we're just going to talk through our pictures right now. Before we left for the Special Olympics was on Saturday, we had a huge pep rally at HBE. We had the varsity club athletes come down and cheer on our team. We had the cheerleaders there. They were throwing up stunts in the HBE cafeteria. Dr. Bell was there, Dr. Walkowitz, Dr. Bell spoke, Mrs. Duryea spoke, and it was a great time. The athletes got to be pumped up by the staff. They got high fives by everybody, and it was a wonderful assembly. I'm going to introduce one of our PE teachers, Noah Nacelle, and he's going to talk to you about what the actual games were like.
Yes, so thank you, Mrs. Mesnick, and thank you again to the board for allowing us the opportunity to come and highlight these experiences of our student athletes and our coaches. I think I can speak for us all when I say it was so much fun, and it was an honor to be a part of it all. So our athletes, alongside our dedicated coaches, recently participated in the Special Olympics event at Middletown that featured basketball and soccer skills competitions. In the months leading up to competition day, each team of athletes practiced throughout their free time during the school day so that they could be ready for all 6 different skills competitions. Those events were dribbling, passing, and shooting in the sport of soccer, and dribbling, passing, and shooting in basketball. Our athletes did amazing. Each dribble, pass, and shot carried the weight of hours of practice, determination, and hard work. They showed us that as they took to the court, that they weren't just playing for themselves, They were representing our school, our community, and a movement greater than sport. They embodied the true spirit of sportsmanship, embracing every challenge with grace, every victory with humility, and every setback with resilience. Their actions and performance continue to show us that inclusion is not just a goal, but a reality we must strive for, and that through sports we can build a more inclusive and compassionate world. Thank you again to the board, and I would like to introduce Coach Monahan, who is going to speak a little bit more about individual scoring and the events that day as well. So thank you.
So in the morning for round 1, all of the athletes competed to earn their points in each of the 6 events. Once every athlete had competed in all 6 events, the scores were tallied and athletes were placed into individual heats of 7. So then in the afternoon, after a nice lunch that was provided by Middletown, thank you for that, for round 2, the athletes competed within their heats for 1st through 7th place, with 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place earning gold, silver, and bronze medals. We are very proud to say that because of all of our hard work and determination, that every single port athlete took home at least 1 medal in their Alex, can you wait? Alex took 1st place in soccer skills and 1st place in basketball skills. Benji Harper, who couldn't make it tonight, he took 2nd place in soccer and 3rd in basketball. Eric DeVos, can you wait for us, bud? Eric took 2nd in soccer and 4th in basketball. Mason Massabot, who couldn't make it tonight, took 4th in soccer in his heat and 1st in basketball. Daryl Lewis. Daryl, wave to everyone. Daryl took 1st in soccer and 4th in basketball. Aaliyah Vanderveer. Aaliyah took 1st in soccer and 2nd in basketball. Lonnie Oliver, last but not least, took 1st in soccer and 2nd in basketball. So we couldn't be more proud of our athletes. We thought it'd be fun to hear from our kids now about what it meant to them to be a part of the Special Olympics, and also we have some parents that would say a few words as well. So I'm going to go down with the microphone, okay? So what was your favorite part, or what did it mean to you to be a part of the Special Olympics?
Basketball.
Very good.
Soccer. Basketball. Basketball. Basketball.
Excellent. And put your phone down.
Alright, please forgive me because I'm very emotional today. Thank you everyone for allowing me to speak. As a parent of someone on the spectrum, I always hoped and prayed that my child would want to be included and could be involved and deal with big, large crowds. Saturday, April 13th just seemed like the perfect day. My son got so excited hearing Coach Brittany tell me how well he was doing during practice. Then watching him that morning, pulling into the school, seeing him hop up and down in his seat and excited that this day has finally came. It was just amazing to be able to watch him participate and transition from one thing to the next and one thing to the next, and then have to wait his turn to do the next. It was just inspiring just to watch him filled with joy and excitement, and after each and every thing he did, to say, am I winning? Am I winning? Am I winning? It was just so many emotions that day, and still to this day, I'll never forget that. Thank you.
So I think you can see that being a part of this, it's beyond what you can actually put into words. The feeling when you're there, the crowds, the inclusivity, the cheering for everyone, something that I know our athletes, our families will never forget. So thank you for that opportunity, and we are so looking forward to 2025 Special Olympics. So thank you.
Are we supposed to do anything now?
I just want to thank all the coaches that worked with these children and just congratulate all the kids that participated. I mean, this is really a wonderful thing. Thank you so much. Next are our administrative reports. Our first is our super. I'm sorry, Mark.
Dr. Bell, hope you're doing something?
Posting me? Yeah, we found out that Goshen is the next 2 years and then us. So we have 2 more years to plan and strategize and steal ideas. We're hosting 27.
Borrow. Yeah. All right. Thank you. So our administrative reports, first our superintendent of schools, Dr. John Bell.
Sure, good evening, everyone. I just wanted to give a couple quick updates. Phase 1, which is the conversion of the middle school into the new East Main Elementary School. The project continues to move along. I think today I counted 75 people were actually working on the job today. So when you have 75 people in there, a lot can get done each and every day when you have so many workers. So it's good to see. Everything is on schedule for, as I said before, that we'll open that school on September 3rd for the kids. We will have the grand opening, and we'll put that information out over the summer. But we'll have the grand opening on Saturday, August 31st. Moving on to phase 2. Phase 2 is inside work to make ASK the new Port Jervis Middle School. Some of that work is going on second shift right now, but the bulk of it will happen in the summer. However, if you came to this meeting tonight via Hamilton Street, you saw that they're off and running with tackling the varsity baseball and softball fields, which will be completely redone. And of course, if you come in from the ASK side, you saw the mountain of dirt in front of ASK for all the work that's going to be done there for a baseball field, soccer field, and a softball field. As well as the tennis courts will be ripped up. The 4 tennis courts will be replaced by 5 new courts, and there'll also be a new outdoor basketball court. So that's phase 2. And all of that will also be done in time for school to start in September. And then on tonight's agenda was the approval of phase 3 bids, which was item 8C, which we're actually going to have to pull that off when we get to that point, because we can't approve it until we have state ed approval. And every day we've been holding our breath, waiting for it. The last 2 days they've emailed us with a bunch of questions that we've answered. So we thought maybe today would be the day, but it's not. So we have to wait, and probably our luck, it'll probably be tomorrow morning that they'll approve it. And then we'll have to have a special meeting to approve the bids. But phase 3 is what the voters approved last May, which is work on the high school auditorium, building the new high school library, and Gwinnett Field, Chase Field, just to name some of the big things for phase 3. So literally phase 3 will probably start next week. We expect approval any day now, and phase 3 will start next week. You saw some of the vehicles out here by Chase Field that said the Clark companies. That's the people who will be working on Chase and Gwinnett to skim the fields, put the drainage in, and then field turf comes in later on. You also may have seen a Kubota tractor down on Chase Field on the riverside, and that's sign here from Matamoros, who will be putting in the big scoreboard for Chase Field. So they're beginning all the prep work there to put the scoreboard up for Chase Field. So there's a lot going on with a lot of different vendors and contractors, but it's really, really good stuff. Also on the website, we released something that I had announced at the last meeting, and that is there's an FAQ on the website about non-resident tuition students. If students from neighboring Eldred or Montague and their parents would be willing to pay tuition, they'll be eligible to come to be considered for candidacy to become students at Port Jervis next fall. We're beginning that as a trial experiment with 2 small neighboring districts. and then we'll take it from there and see how it goes. Jocelyn had talked about all the many end-of-year events. One that we held on May 1st that she didn't mention was the Kuykendall Awards, which is our annual community service awards, where we recognize a 6th grader from ASK and from HPE, and an 8th grader from the middle school and a senior from the high school. That's always a really special event. Next year it'll switch from 6th graders to 5th graders, because they'll be the big kids in the elementary schools. But that's a really nice event, and there's all kinds of stuff literally almost every night. So I welcome people to come out and check out some of the things. And then finally, last year we approved a trip to Costa Rica that's happening this summer. But we've been working with a bunch of teachers and with EF Tours to really kind of get back to having student trips again, like we did pre-COVID. And right now, we're trying to gauge student interest about a domestic trip. That would be to multiple national parks out west next spring break. And they're trying to gauge interest about a trip possibly to Spain and France, and another one to Italy. So we're waiting to see what kind of interest there is. If there is significant interest, then we'll come to the board and seek formal approval after we get more specifics. But we wanted to really, because it's been a while since we've done trips, we wanted to gauge that. So, but we're really excited about trying to open up doors and open up eyes of kids to culture and other countries. So we're working on that. So, but that's everything I have for you tonight. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Bell. Next is our Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, Dr. Natasha Walkowitz.
Good evening. The middle and high school hosted a multicultural night last Thursday, celebrating food, music, presentations, and arts and crafts representing our students and families from around the world that are right here in Port Jervis. I just want to shout out Austin for starting this multicultural night last year. His goal is to move it to the gym because it's that big. We are getting a little tight in here last week, so I think the gym is the next step. So congratulations, it was a wonderful turnout. And Ms. Murata put a nice video together. I watched it this morning. So if you get a chance, check it out on social media. It's really great. Elementary math and 8th grade science tests are this week. Our Ed Committee is meeting tomorrow to wrap up the school year, and our Reading Committee is working on data analysis, actions, and recommendations next week. Excuse me, our spring community survey is available for families and sent home by each school. If families could just take a moment and send us your feedback, we'd appreciate it. It does help us with organizing our grant money that we get from state ed. As our senior rep mentioned, next Tuesday is our Sail by Literacy Showcase. This is our 3rd year of doing Sail by Literacy. So just come out if you can at 8:15 next Tuesday at the high school and watch some of our students. We have several of our L students who are fluent in their native language, having to speak both their fluent native language as well as English, presenting this important seal on their graduation. And special thank you goes out to our teachers and nurses as we celebrate Teacher Appreciation Week and Nurse Appreciation Day.
Okay. All set?
Almost.
You're all set? Okay, thank you very much. All right, next are our consent agenda items. Item A are the minutes from the April 18th, 2024 Board of Education meeting. Item B are the minutes from the CPSE meeting minutes for April 19th and May 1st, 2024. Item C is the minutes, CSE meeting minutes for annual reviews from January 8th and May 21st, 2024. Item D is the grant, the Eastern New York Earth Day grant in the amount of $750 to the Port Jervis High School. Item E is a disposal request, buildings and grounds, equipment, and materials. Item F is a request to auction B&G equipment. Item G is a donation from Sawshuck Maintenance and Backhoe. May I have a motion to bring these to the floor? Moved by Bill Harris.
I'll second.
Second by Kara. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next are personnel employment agenda items. Item A is a leave of absence. Item B is a resignation, support staff position 484, school monitor. Item C is appointment, vacancy 2535, curriculum coordinators, co-curriculum coordinators, and coaching appointments for the 23-24 school year. Item D is an appointment, instructional staff, vacancy 2579, position 259, temporary English teacher leave replacement. Item E is appointment, instructional, vacancy 2596, 2024 summer school teachers, nurses, and substitutes. Item F are appointment, administrative staff, vacancy 2609, position 608, probationary, middle school assistant principal. Item G is an appointment, support staff, vacancy 2615, position 442, probationary, senior payroll clerk. Item H is an appointment, support staff, substitute security attendant. Item I is an appointment, substitute teachers for the 2023-2024 school year. Item J is a stipend position for the 23-24 school year, benefits liaison. And item K is a change in status, support staff, positions 2847 and 4061. You have a motion to bring that to the floor, please? Moved by Michael Witt. You have a second? Second by Jason. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Before you go on, I just want to introduce our new assistant principal who will start on July 1st, Alexa Daly. Alexa, you want to wait for the camera? Alexa comes to us after being a middle school and then high school teacher at Pine Bush, and we're really excited to get her back in the middle school where all the fun is. Welcome aboard.
Good. Thank you. Next are action items. Item A is the Phase 4 architect contract with Land Associates. May I have a motion to bring that to the floor? Moved by Judy. Second? Second by Michael. Any questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B is Phase 4 construction manager contract with Savin Engineers and amendments to the contract for phases 1 through 3. May I have a motion on that? By Michael. May I have a second? Second by Jason. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Yes, okay. Item C, may I have a motion to remove this item from the agenda? Moved by Michael. Second by Bill Harris. Any questions? Okay. All in favor of removing this item?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Bill,
Yes,
the proper term would be table so that we can bring it back as soon as it gets approved.
okay,
To remove it from table status and then approve it,
okay.
just so that we know.
All right, do you want me to redo it? Yeah.
Please.
So we're making a motion to table this item. Moved by Michael. Second by Bill
Thank
Harris.
you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D is the Renovus Solar Viability and Interconnection Study for possible solar field on the Vicaretti property in the town of Deer Park. May I have a motion on that? Moved by Michael.
I'll second.
Second by Kara. Any questions on that? Any comments?
Just a little more explanation.
Yes, sure, Bill. John?
The way it works is if we want to explore a solar field, we have to do this interconnection study with Orange and Rockland to find out, to make sure it's doable. There's a variety of different things we have to work with Orange and Rockland based on the capacity for them to receive that much electricity, how many solar panels are going in the town of Deer Park already, all those different things. So, and it's a somewhat convoluted process. So you need somebody to walk you through it. So we've asked Renova Solar to work with Orange and Rockland to get us approved as a potential site. Yes, yeah, there is an interconnection study, and the bulk of the money passes through Renovus and goes right to O&R. And then, once we know that we're a viable entity, that we could have solar there, then what we're gonna do is we'll put an RFP out, and so that multiple companies can bid to make sure we get the best deal possible in terms of the cost of the construction of the solar field and things like that. So this is like a stage one to find out that, yes, we can have solar there. Then stage two would be, okay, now that Orange and Rockland has busted, now people can compete for the business to be the one to build the solar panels. Yes, the goal is that there would be 7 acres up there in the front of the property that's not in the floodplain. And those 7 acres would be enough solar, generate enough solar to eliminate our electricity bills for the 4 schools and Pike Street. Everything would wipe it out. So we had hoped to do a community solar, which is a much bigger solar field, and then we could sell back additional power to the O&R, which would help lower rates actually for neighbors of that area. But because of the change in the floodplain lines over the years, more property has become in the floodplain than out of the floodplain. So we can only get the 7 acres, which is enough just to suffice to replace our electricity needs.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E is the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York Bond Financing Agreement and Letter of Representation. May I have a motion on that, please? Michael. Second? Second. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Hold on, actually, talk briefly, sure. Because dormitory sounds.
Yes, basically what this is DASD, or the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York, is a public entity that is cheaper for public organizations, schools, cities, towns. It's cheaper for us to go out and get bonds for our projects through DASD than it is if you went through Merrill Lynch or Goldman Sachs or somebody like that who adds a profit onto the top of it. So DASD is a nonprofit. So anytime a SUNY school does a project, and almost any time that a public school district or a city or anything like that, if they're going to do a project, they'll go through DASD because it's cheaper than going through a big Wall Street firm like Goldman Sachs or Morgan or Merrill or somebody like that.
How much cheaper?
So over 16 years of borrowing,
It's about approximately $5.5 million that we'd be saving versus going public. So.
Oh. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Next, item F is the resolution of appointment for additional inspectors and alternates for the annual school budget vote and board election on May 21st, 2024. Have a motion on that? Yeah? Second? Okay. Any questions on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Item G is a resolution, school district leader intern placement. May I have a motion on that, please?
I'll move it.
Second, Judy? Any questions, comments?
I meant that. You did.
Thank you.
No, as an administrator.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item H is a memorandum of agreement with CSDA Food Service Heavy Work Differential. May I have a motion on that? Moved by Bill Harris. May I have a second? Second by Mark Green. Question?
What is that?
Okay, I saw the look, so I figured you had it. Go ahead.
So basically, we would have one person be a heavy lift person in food service, and they were compensated at 15 cents per hour. Then what would happen is other workers were looking at that person and saying, you're the heavy lift person. So we just felt that it was to make the entire food service community, to make it an even playing ground, because they're all lifting all day. That's essentially what this is moving to do, is make everybody be compensated the additional 15 cents. Yes. Yes.
It's actually heavy work.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions on that? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item I is a memorandum of agreement with the CSEA, Student Behavioral, Student Hygiene, Kitty Vento Liaison. May I have a motion on that, please? Okay. Second, Nan? Thank you. Any questions on this? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item J is a side letter of agreement with CSEA for benefits liaison. Have a motion? Moved by Bill. Second by. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item K is policy, second and final reading of policy numbers 1270 and 5730. Do you have a motion on those? Okay. Second? Jason, thank you. Any questions on that? No? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, and let's see. Board committee reports. Orange County School Board?
We met on May 1st. There were no action items. We had a very informal meeting, no guest speakers, no trainings. There was 13 people there, so we were 10 people short. But out of all districts that were represented, we had pretty much a little roundtable, informal conversation that lasted a little bit over 2 hours. And we just got to know each other a little better and what our goals are and what everybody's doing in the districts. And we realized that we need to do that more often. And we had just a very good, long conversation. A lot of people got stuff off their chests. A lot of people asked the questions. And that's what I said, we're just going to do it more often. And our next meeting is June 5th, where I will be appointed to the executive board.
Congratulations, Bill. Very good. Thank you so much for your report. Next, New York State. Okay. Next, health and safety.
We have a meeting May 29th.
Okay. All right. Buildings and grounds, we don't have anything at this time.
Ed committee's tomorrow.
Education is tomorrow. Okay. All right. Next, our board member comments. Mark, anything?
I apologize for getting all verklempt, but having volunteered for Special Olympics for 35 years, you can imagine this was incredibly near and dear to my heart. So before I say more and get more verklempt, I will pass the time.
Thank you, Mark. Michael?
It was wonderful to see some videos the day of the event, and I'm looking forward to being associated.
Great.
Thank you, everybody.
Bill?
Again, my hat goes off to all of our student athletes. It was a great honor for me to take part in this event, and I'm just looking forward to the next time. And although teacher, nurse, staff appreciation should be every day, I just do want to recognize our entire staff for everything that you do from the top down, because without any of you, none of this would happen.
Kara?
I had the
privilege of being at the Special Olympics because it took place at my school. So what a privilege to see just the excitement and share in that little piece of joy. It was just an amazing day, and hearing that parent speak tonight really touched me as well. So you were not the only one who needed to dry their eyes. Amazing. So thank you to all who were involved, and we certainly look forward to welcoming that in 2027. And just a special thank you to all the teachers and all the school nurses. You're amazing. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you for taking care of our kids.
Thank you, Karen.
I would like to mirror what Kara said.
Thank you.
Ditto.
Jason?
Same, echo to everybody. Congratulations to that whole Special Olympics crew, our teachers and staff, nurses as well. Good job.
Okay, I just want to give a big thank you to our board clerk for keeping us informed. Kristen, you do an outstanding job, and you keep me on the straight and narrow, and I really appreciate that. But you know, at the end of the year, with so much going on, so many activities, Kristen, you know, keeps us abreast of what's coming up, what dates. And I also want to thank Mr. Lazaro because, you know, tonight in our packet, we've got notification of the end of the year events and stuff. So this is really helpful to us board members because it's hard to keep up with everything that goes on. So thank you all for what you do for us.
It's not January here. It's completely January here.
Your name's on it. Okay, thank you very much. All right. Let's see. Next is dates to remember.
I think Caitlin mentioned some of these, but they bear repeating, I guess. So May 8th and 9th, we have the New York State Math Assessment for grades 3 through 8. May 9th is the high school spring concert at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. May 10th is the ADAC ceremony, 10 a.m. in the Paramount in Middletown. May 13th through 16th is the spring book fair. It's during the school day at ASK. May 14th is the Seal of Biliteracy Showcase from 7:30 to 10:30 in the morning in the high school All States Gym. May 15th, College Commitment Day, ASK Spring Book Fair. Well, I'll give you the times. College Commitment Day, that's all day at the high school. ASK Spring Book Fair and Family Night, that's 3:30 to 6:30 at the ASK Library. There's an ASK PTA meeting at 6:30 p.m. in the ASK Library. The middle school spring concert is 7 p.m. that day in the high school auditorium. May 16th is the ASK kindergarten screenings all day in the ASK computer lab. That day is also HPE PTA meeting at 3:30 in room 10 at HPE. It's also the high school SAD Powder Puff game at 4:30 at Harriet Space Park. And the trimester 3 elementary progress reports will be distributed that day for ASK and HPE. May 17th is the district art show from 6 to 8 here at the high school cafe. May 19th is the HPE Fun Color Run from 9 to 2:30 at HPE. May 21st is the annual budget vote and board election in the high school rubber gym and at HPE. It's also the ASK spring concert at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. And May 22nd is the Board of Ed meeting, Campus of the Vote, 7 p.m. here in the high school cafe.
All right. Kara, thank you very much. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, who first?
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Good night, everybody, and drive safe. Thank you.